The next item on the agenda is 7 Chickatabot Road. It's request for determination of applicability filed by Erin Medeiros. The applicant proposes to add approximately 1 foot to 2 foot of gravel to the driveway area of existing house. Also wishes to seal this area with a concrete surface. The reason for this is to keep floodwaters that breach the seawall from filling the basement of this house. Land subject to coastal flowage. Mr. Medeiros.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, Steve DeRoche, the Ponce Survey Associates, 95 White Street here in the city of Quincy. I'm here with my client this evening, Erin Medeiros, who has asked us to prepare this plan you see in front of you. And the plan is for the filling in of her driveway, a portion of your driveway, if you will, which just happens to be a bowl right now. And during a regular rainstorm or whatever, there's really no problem. It's when we have a flooding condition, northeast 70, 80-year storm that breaches the seawall on Chickatabot Road. Those floodwaters tend to come right down to her driveway and into her basement. So what she is proposing to do is she'd like to seal up her basement totally and have a small concrete stairway with a wall going down to that level and have this fill put in with a new driveway. We have an existing dry well there now in the middle of the driveway, which is going to be extended vertically up to the finished grade. Most of the work here is going to be crushed stone, which is going to mitigate somewhat the filling that we're doing in there. There's going to be a ton of plantings put around the edges of the property, which is going to absorb a lot of the water also. And again, the reason she's doing this is to make it, this house would have been a great idea if it was somewhere else, okay? But it's where it is, and it's subject to this flooding that comes in off of the bay. The reason I made the request of determination of applicability in RDA is that we're really, really close to being 100 feet from the edge of the water at the seawall. That's basically what we'd like to do, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
What's the surface of the existing driveway?
Sorry?
What's the surface of the existing driveway?
Bituminous. Right in front of you.
I had no real comments except to point out that the engineering department, Mr. Chin, had sent a letter. I don't know if you had that before.
Yes. I don't see how.
Oh, just
I spoke to Mr. Chin. I have the greatest of confidence in Mr. DeRoche. The difference, as you know, between an RDA and a notice of intent, the notice of intent would put conditions on the property that would remain in perpetuity, so that, you know, whatever systems are in place would have to be maintained. I don't know if that's appropriate. I would leave it up to this board, and just to let you know, defer to the letter from Mr. Chin from the engineering department.
We need to put conditions on the IDA as well.
I'll defer to the board, whatever the commission decides.
Well, if I could say something, I happen to have sold the house next door. And that house was taken down and a new house was put on it. I am extremely familiar with this neighborhood. Very much so that I'm surprised I'm not looking at the other 3 houses. And that whole section, they all have the same problem. So by doing this to this house, is it gonna cause more chaos that's already unbelievable? I have been there when the tide is on the roof of the cars, parked in these garages next to the house I sold. The area needs 50 million more things than this one house. All the houses are suffering there. And by doing this, my only thoughts are, if it's going to affect the rest of the neighbors, to me, it's just not right.
If I may, so I think, the property can only deal with the water runoff on his own property. And I believe Mr. DeRoche has addressed that issue of the stormwater on his own property. I'm sure that Chen was concerned about the whole area, but I think otherwise Chen was okay with it, except for the fact that whatever conditions, if you can condition it, I think that's the goal was to have some conditions.
I mean, if it's a coastal storm flood, it's going to affect the rest of the neighbors regardless. That's the right problem.
Is this gonna add to it? My-
Coastal storm, you can't add to a coastal storm flood, it's there.
If I may, this area that you're looking at that we want to fill, okay, we want to fill it with crushed stone, number one, which is probably going to take up about 40%, with the voids of the capacity, all right? It's still going to leave 60%. But the amount of water you're talking about, spread over this whole area that floods, it's infinitesimal on all of the abutting properties. If it raises it an eighth of an inch, I'd be very, very surprised, to be honest with you.
Because we would not approve a house in this neighborhood with an underground garage. No, it would be floating.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a few years ago.
I mean, I saw the photos, it's modernized, but this is obviously older houses.
So where is the new runoff gonna go?
It's just going to, the area's going to flood until such time as the storm dissipates, and then the water's going to go where it normally goes anyways.
But
A lot of this is going to go into the ground.
I'm gonna mention one more thing, only that I am so familiar with this. During the last coastal storm we had, these people were all removed from their house under emergency procedures. Just to let you know, and the people across the street, and the people around the corner. There's about 8 houses there, plus the one across the street. They had to be evacuated. And if you don't get your cars out of there, you lose them.
I
mean,
understand.
I walked it recently, but after I saw this. I'm just saying, one drop more on a neighbor is not fair. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not gonna say anymore.
Well, that's my concern. I'm not sure where the water's gonna go. I see 2 retaining walls on the driveway. So are you just raising the profile of the driveway 2 more feet on the retaining walls?
We're raising the elevation of the driveway. The walls are going to stay where they are today.
So the driveway's gonna be 2 feet up higher than the wall.
Correct.
So
And that will
where's
average
that
about
water
a
gonna
foot and a
go?
half.
Should we direct it?
Sorry, Sid?
Where's that water going that should we be directing?
It's going to be spread around the whole neighborhood and in the bay, because that's where the water's coming from.
I mean, if it's rainwater,
She's not.
if it's rainwater, you can't damage your neighbors, but if it's a coastal storm flood, it's flooded.
Here's what it is.
Flood is-
That's,
flood is-
I mean, it's an unusual
Yeah, it's not a
situation.
rainstorm type thing. It's
Yeah, but
Where's the rainwater gonna go? You're redirecting the water, period. So
with rainwater, what do you do with
We're not
rainwater?
redirecting anything. We're just eliminating this water coming in on our driveway.
You know,
I mean, it's eventually going to come up. It's going to probably breach the top of the wall of the driveway, and it's going to go where all the other water is.
You'd have a storm, but
to
not rain.
the dry well?
I'm sorry?
It's a dry well?
Yes, we have a dry
It's
well
not
there.
tied into the city storm sewer system?
I'm sorry?
It's not tied into the storm sewer?
No, it isn't, no.
That's what this
No.
is.
And the storm sewer system is going to be all flooded anyway.
Yeah, that's one of my points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So you can see the soil has bouncing.
I have a question. Will that driveway, when it's raised, act as a dam
No.
to hold the water back? Okay, otherwise you need a pipe or something under it.
Right, well, we have a dry well there.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
I'm not that familiar with the area, unfortunately.
Adam Shore?
These locations.
Yeah,
You want to take a walk down?
Yeah, I'd like to go to
What I'm going to suggest is that we allow everyone to speak again, but I haven't been down there in a little bit. I know Maureen has, these gentlemen have not. I'd like to just take a look at high tide. I don't know if we have any moon tides coming up, but between now and the next meeting, just again, that's what they're going to ask for anyway, so that we can take a look at high tide. And I don't think there's any reason for you to be there or anything like that. It's just, for our information, at a high tide, I'd like to just take a peek. And I know everyone got flooded, but I don't care I don't care if they built it 10 feet high, everyone's still gonna get flooded on a major storm.
Right.
A major storm is what it is. and it does that. So, any more questions from the board? Okay.
Thank
Counselor?
you. So, for the record, Margaret LaForest, the Woodlawn Counselor. I too, Maureen, spent a lot of time on Chickatabot Road. I was there for the evacuations. I was there helping people in the shelters. You're going to have an opportunity to give comment too. I want to just be clear. I just want to give maybe some context to the board. So one, I guess I have some good news kind of coming down line. And actually, you're the reason, and Tracy, report this back to Dave Murphy because he's going to remember this field trip. The city of Quincy was putting in for some EOEA seawall applications, and we were looking at Manor Ave by the Willows. It was so big, we broke it into two parts. Manor Ave from the Willows down into Perry Beach, and Manor Ave up to Chickatabot. And I literally brought Dave on the principle of time bond in front of all of your homes because I said, this is the repetitive loss area. These are very well kept homes that in a major storm event are getting inundated, and they are repetitive loss properties. We went there, we were successful in this grant. We just got about $500,000 from the state to design and engineer and permit a brand new seawall, or well, a new seawall, whatever it may be. It may be new revetment, new seawall. We're at the very infancy. We're going to have a neighborhood meeting, I think, in February. Dave wanted it for the first, right, 2017. So we're going to be talking about improvements in that area because if you see the riprap, that water is just rushing right up and over. So to the point of when we talk, I spend a lot of time, I feel like I should be a FEMA consultant, talking about stormwater management, whether it's rainwater management and coastal storms. And I appreciate, Jeff, that you distinguish these two, because if you're talking about where's the rainwater going to go and how are you, in the improvements you're making, impacting these properties, that's a very significant question that needs to be addressed, and the water needs to be maintained on your property. You can't divert your runoff to the neighbors. However, coastal storm event, that it doesn't matter. That water is coming over the wall. It's going to the lowest elevation. So it's kind of a moot point when it comes to coastal storm flowage versus the rainwater, stormwater management. So I just appreciate you distinguishing that because I think for the average person who doesn't speak stormwater, they just say, when the water goes, I know where it's going. It's in these basements, and I've been in their basements, and I've got pictures of most of these basements, and it was a very, very difficult time. So I hear you loud and clear, and I will say, Jay, kudos to your department and all the floodplains. A lot of these houses have had new improvements, but with us in our maintenance to the FEMA building code regs, we've been able to elevate some of these homes out of the floodplain and lift their utilities because these have been the same ones that are newer, somewhat newer construction, and they keep getting nailed. So I appreciate your due diligence and do appreciate you taking the time to go down and do the site visit. So if I can join you, I will.
Well, it'll help us too when you come in front of us with the wall.
And so again, I mean, here it is. It's like, what can the city do, but what can the homeowner do? And if you're the homeowner, you're saying, heck, if I'm waiting for the seawall because A, we just get design money, we've been begging for design money. It's going to take a couple of years to permanent. Then you're going to beg for construction money. So you're looking down the line. So I just want to not give false hope, but I want you to understand the city very much recognizes that this is a high-risk storm area. So, thank you.
Okay, we're going to, just to let everyone know, you're going to be allowed to speak. We're going to continue this meeting so that we can go down and take a look at high tide. Like I said, I haven't been down there in a while. And Councilor Forrest is right. When you get a storm, you get a storm. I don't care how big your house is, you're going to get hit. So at this time, if people want to speak now, they can. If they want to come back at the next meeting, they can. Anybody like to speak in favor of this? Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Brian Jeriff, 360 Adams Street. And the project, I'm the landscape contractor for the job. All the rainwater is going to go to the exact same spot, to the dry well that Steve said. When we're putting plants around it, it absorbs 15, 20 gallons of plant on a nice summer day. So we're really not changing where the water's going at all. It's the same spot.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else in favor? Anybody opposed? Yes, ma'am. Questions?
Yes, I grew up 2 houses away, and I have photographs. Oh, I'm Joan Mattie Hughes at number 15 Chickatabot Road. And I have photographs of the flooding that takes place. Part of it started in 1967. But we also have a tide gate that was installed at Blacks Creek, which exacerbates the problem. Plus, the people who lived directly behind me years ago on Narragansett Road were friends with Henry Nielsen, who was the city engineer, and they had a catch basin put in their backyard that acted like a drain to a bathtub, which helped a lot to get rid of the water. But a previous owner filled the catch basin in with cement. So now we have no drain, so it
I've
makes
heard
matters
this also
worse.
from all the neighbors I've heard this.
Yes, but I have photographs which I'd like to show you. This is the driveway in question. This is my backyard and the backyard in the back. This is Narragansett Road. This is a picture of the catch basin that was there that was eventually filled in with cement.
I meet with him right here, Hendon and I moved to him because at that time he couldn't fit.
So I'd like to cooperate, but it's such, the city has made this, contributed to the making of this problem too, by putting in the tide gate. And then, as I say, the neighbor in the back filling in that catch basin. And then the seawall is in dire need of repair. Plus, I've attended many meetings on beach renourishment. And sand is very important in front of the seawall to break the wave action before it reaches the seawall. And the Marymount Association will not put sand there. And the way they can get around it, if they remove the private sign from Chickatabot Beach, the Department of Conservation and Recreation will provide the sand.
They're not going to do that.
But I don't know why they're afraid. Who do they think is going to use the
They
beach?
love the idea of their privacy, their private own beach.
The problem is the Marymount Association is basically a social organization, and they're not there to help us when we get flooded. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'll give one of the pictures back.
Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna, Jim's still looking at it down the end.
My name is Mike Feely. I live at 2 Narragansett Road, and I'm the immediate neighbor to Erin's left. Two problems here. Generally, the flood water comes over the wall, runs up Narragansett, reaches a low point, and then starts coming back towards her house. Okay? And that's when it fills up. I guess my question is, if you're going to abandon the basement, not abandon the basement, and abandon the egress of the basement, I don't see why it's necessary to raise the driveway, other than wanting to do that. It's not, that's going to eliminate the problem of her flooded basement. The fact that there's going to be a solid wall there, which once was a big two-car garage. Okay. So what would be the issue in just putting a solid wall there?
Well, the problem, the only thing I can really think of right up front is that the waters would be right up against this particular wall at 3, 4, 5 feet on the wall.
Okay.
Which it is, anyway.
Yeah, but it goes into the garage now.
But it wouldn't.
Right.
It's not a garage.
Well, it is
Okay.
inside.
Well, it is now, yeah.
Right. It's a room down there now.
Yeah, well, garage room, whatever.
But there's one door.
Mhm.
If you sealed that door up and made a solid wall, wouldn't that mitigate the
Well,
problem?
then you need access also from there. So
Where's you gonna get access if you're gonna raise the driveway?
we're gonna have a stairway coming out of there and then up. It's gonna be there'll be a concrete wall around that stairway, and that concrete wall will be right at the top of her foundation. So that, if there's any flooding coming in there, it's not gonna breach that wall, get down the stairway and then in the doorway.
There isn't going to be a doorway. There is.
Can I say something? I'm
Not yet, there's other people talking.
No, this is ordinance contract.
Oh, okay, all right.
Hi. Well, what we've done is,
Can we have your name?
I'm Stephen Harris from Sharman Street, Quincy. I've built a lot of shelving down in her basement. I spent quite a bit of time there this summer, as you well know. And it's all 3 feet off the deck, and it's all around her whole basement, so she has some place other than the attic to store stuff, and there's no attic access anyway. And we're gonna put a precast 4-step stairway with a bulkhead over that and put a narrower driveway that's there now with a place for water to run off to, for rainwater to collect and absorb into the water. But she wants access from the outside through a bulkhead to a precast stairway to get into a basement for storage for her summer clothes, winter clothes, and ski stuff and all that to go, other than
from the first floor.
there is no access from the first floor.
To a basement?
Yeah, they took that out when they did the house.
To your garage.
She got no access from the first floor to the basement. When they redid the house, the building department had them take
The
everything
only
out
way
of
to
the
get into the
basement
basement now is through that back.
through that back bulkhead. So there's a door there now, but we want to put, that's why I moved the door in. I don't know if you saw me doing that, but I moved the door in so that we could put a bulkhead, a precast stairway in, and then a steel bulkhead over it. So you open the bulkhead and go down into her basement for storage. And the reason, she wants to be able to pull her car into a driveway and not into a puddle. You know what I mean? Just,
It doesn't last that long.
yeah, I know, but
It's gone in a couple of days, either get pumped out or
it absorbs into the ground.
2 days a year, you're gonna raise the basement and jeopardize her neighbors.
Well, it's,
Displacement of
she's
the
not
water.
building, she's not gonna build the level of her driveway any higher than the existing walls that are around her driveway now, so her neighbors aren't gonna get any more water than they're already getting. She's gonna collect any water that she produces off of her roof.
We're not talking about rainwater there. We're talking about
Oh,
storm.
like they said, seawall, that thing, water starts coming over that, everybody's screwed.
So, is the entrance you're gonna put in gonna be in jeopardy in the storm?
Probably. But all the shelving in the basement is up 3 feet. It will deter the water that much more if we can get it up a little bit.
Well, if you're deterring water, you're deterring it to somewhere else.
Like they said, everybody's gonna get it.
It's only gonna flood.
I mean, you're higher than everybody else, you get nothing. You
Well, I
are.
actually do get it.
Yeah, oh, well, I don't know.
When
I
I walked out with the chief,
got
I
20.
was hip high in water.
Oh, you have a basement?
I have a
I didn't know
Fresh
that.
stone.
I
I
have
have
a
a-
crushed stone basement.
Yeah,
They have a flow through.
yeah,
Like rainwater,
No, I'm a French drain for the
Yeah,
neighbor.
yeah. And she also has a French drain in hers that goes out to that tank, so it will actually come and wash right back in on her. So that's why we have all of her shelving down there is 3 feet off the ground, and it's up and down all the walls and down the middle, and
You can't put a bulkhead on the side of the house?
The other side.
what side?
The other side.
Under the porch or near the porch? You put a door on the porch?
There's so much stone you have to go through to, this is just the easiest route for her to do it. And she wants to build the driveway up so that she can eventually put a staircase down and she's not going down into a hole to get her car. She wants to just get it all level, she wants to put some landscaping there and some gardens. And she just wants to make it look better than a commercial parking lot. It's just all concrete. She's gonna decrease the amount of pavement that's in there too.
So you're saying that the driveway's only gonna be as high as the wall right now? Because we were told the driveway was gonna be an incline.
No, not at
I
all.
saw a chalk
There
line
was
on
a
the,
line on the
chalk line
house.
on the house.
that it
Oh,
was-
that was all me. Don't pay attention to what I drew on that house.
No, it wasn't you, it was somebody before
Well,
you.
maybe.
so the
Elevations on here?
Yeah, at the most, it's gonna be 3 feet at the low point of the garage, at the
We
low point
started
of the
with
driveway.
one, now it's 2, and now it's
Well,
3 feet.
well,
3 at the garage, right, and about 0 at the 20 feet in from the street.
All right, so you're gonna have
So
a
it's gonna
level,
be
you're
a
gonna have a
foot-
level lot all the way
No,
up.
it's still gonna get out a little bit, but it's gonna be about a foot and a half.
Yeah,
It's
wait,
on
but-
the average, if you will.
when,
Well, when
she
this-
can't
when
drain,
this-
she
when
can't
this-
drain her driveway even into the street, so it's actually gonna be below street grade. You can't even do that in this town. So she was gonna have it slope a little bit and then level it out into her driveway.
Does that show it's 13 here and it's 11 here?
Yeah, right. Yeah, up here it's
We show
13, 6, 12, 2, 11, 2.
show this gentleman.
Existing grade of the house, right, it's about 11, 2, 11, 3.
This is to the flood.
Yeah, this is Chickatabot in Narragansett.
Okay.
All right, and then up in Narragansett is 14.3. So she's gonna come down about 20 feet, 20, 25 feet to this elevation right here. And this is where it's gonna start being filled. And again, it's gonna be 0 here, but about 3 feet here for an average of about a foot and a half.
But what I'm saying, it doesn't make sense if you're trying to mitigate this major storm. And I understand why she's trying to do it.
Not a major storm, she's not gonna mitigate a major storm. No way.
She could.
I don't think so.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm trying to help her out.
Yeah, no,
okay?
but-
If you blocked it up, made it a
Yeah.
solid wall,
Yeah.
put the egress on the side of her house to her basement,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a bulkhead anyway, okay? Then she doesn't have to worry about storms.
You put the bulkhead over here on this side.
That's the property line right there.
Yep.
She's right on the
No, I
property.
get that, but you got a big porch here. It's open underneath. It'd be very easy to put the bulkhead down on that side. And then she wouldn't have to worry about.
Do you want to look at that?
She wants to bring the driveway up.
I know she wants to. I understand now, okay? But it's not gonna solve her problem though with the storm.
That's why everything in the basement is 3 feet off the deck.
Well, those design issues we'll let you discuss, because we have one more meeting, but there's some
All right, I'm
proposals
sorry.
that might.
All right, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents.
I would hope so.
We're gonna be continuing this, so if anybody else wants to comment, yes.
One more comment. Joan Hughes again. I've attended beach renourishment seminars, and I had one thought that might be a partial solution, and the retention ponds. If we could change the pitch of Narragansett Road and have retention ponds as part of Perkins Field, the water could drain in there.
We're not here for that.
We don't have that, but that's something you should
Might
talk
wanna
to Margaret.
discuss with the council.
All right, well, I just.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it might work, but
Yeah.
we're here for a driveway.
Okay.
We get-
Anybody else? And again, this is gonna be continued till the February meeting. Do I have a motion to continue?
Motion continue.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none?